Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to Communicating Awesomeness. First off, Brit, I just want to say thank you so much for being on the show. It is an honor to have you. Second guest ever. For a little background, we've been friends since elementary school. We were in the same digital media classes in high school. Awesome times. Brit made some truly awesome things in those classes. Now she is currently doing amazing work as a painter and has a really awesome Etsy page and doing lots of awesome freelance design work. How's it going today, Brit?
It's going well. It's going good. It's a good day. It's good to see you. I haven't actually seen you in a really long time.
I know. I don't think I like. I mean, we texted and obviously
Yeah,
conversed via
but I
phone, but
miss
not like an
you.
actual. Yeah,
Yeah, it's good to see your face.
you too, Brett. So let's start off with the first question. Obviously, you've been doing awesome art for so long, and I'm just curious as how you sort of got into doing acrylic fluid paintings.
So it all started with one of my really good friends actually.
Mm-hmm.
So our whole relationship is kind of started kind of because of our similar interests in art.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so one day I invited her over, and it was just like a really creative space. Like her and I were drawing, and some friends were making music, and we basically just got to talking. And she asked me if I had ever heard of fluid art, and I hadn't. And so we sat there for like 20 minutes, and she was showing me like pictures and videos of it, and she's like, "We need to learn how to do this." And yeah, long story short, she learned and then she taught me, and the rest is history.
I'm so glad that happened because your art is literally like so stunning to look at. It is so
Thank you.
so well done. And
Thank
kind of going off of that, I love the colors you use. Seriously, like the teal, the orange, they all just look and flow so great. And then kind of what's
you.
your process in regards to choosing colors?
So a lot of it is color theory. I took a class my freshman year of college, and it was called color theory, and it's basically just about like the science of colors and how they work together. So there's such thing as like complementary colors and secondary, primary, whatever. So I try to use a lot of that science. Like I use color, like a color wheel sometimes. I always have one by my paint, to kind of like look and see what might possibly look good together. I also use like nature as like a really big muse. Like if a color works in nature, like a color scheme, I'm assuming that would work in a painting. And also I use other people's art as inspiration too. Like if I see like a composition that I really like, I'll jot down the colors that they used and then try to do it too.
Oh yeah, so that's so much awesome inspiration right there. Like you said, nature's always and a color wheel can never go wrong with the color wheel.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
And I love the titles you use for each of your paintings on Etsy too. And I've noticed they sort of have a mixed theme between outer space as well as mythology, and I just think that's so
Yeah.
cool. And can you kind of talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so yeah, that's very true. A lot of the pieces are either named after like a planet or a moon or like some type of god or goddess. And I kind of so I a lot of them are named like that, but some of them kind of aren't. I try to name them just based off of like a feeling that I get when I'm looking at them, or kind of a feeling that I maybe had when I was making it. And I'll go off that. But otherwise, it's kind of turned into like a fun thing for me. I'll look up like these planets or these gods and goddesses and kind of see if their meaning or whatever can kind of pertain to the overall feeling of the painting, and then I kind of go from there. So yeah, obviously I didn't know of a lot of these gods and goddesses or moons or whatever prior to. So like I said, it's kind of a fun project because I'm learning while I'm researching for names.
Yeah, I
So
saw one that was like the I wish I remembered because because I just was looking at it. It was like a moon from either Saturn or Jupiter. One of
yeah,
those. I thought that was so cool.
moons.
Hmm.
I think Jupiter. Don't quote me on this. I hope I'm right, but I think Jupiter has the most moons out of any planet in the solar system. So yeah, I always try to steal the names from that.
We'll get our outer space fact checker on that.
Yeah,
Jeremy Gentry, are you out there?
yeah.
Oh, he's not here.
Shout out
I
to
know.
Jeremy Gentry.
Had a. I'm trying to. I got to name drop him once per show.
Yeah.
Uh, I saw on your Etsy you also crafted drink coasters mixed with your style, which
Yeah.
is so cool because it's just always so cool seeing art kind of mixed with like everyday objects. It like makes
Yeah.
it so cool. And are there any objects in the future you wanted to kind of combine with your painting?
Yes, absolutely. One that is definite. I'm waiting on it to come in the mail. I'm gonna make jewelry pendants, for necklaces. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. I'm curious because they're really tiny, so I have to get really creative with it. But I also am trying to hopefully maybe make a clock in the near future. Just because I feel like the circles that I make are like always the strongest shapes, so why not make a clock? But eventually I would like to move on to like doing end tables and things like that, or like bar stools, like the top part. But yeah, I also I haven't had any luck yet, but like garbage picking is like a very big thing in Chicago, so I'm always like out in the alley like looking to see if there's any like furniture or just like pieces of like wood that I can paint on, but no luck yet really.
That's so cool because in like they always say one person's trash is another person's treasure. So you could
Exactly.
always like you can make something. That's so cool. So many
Yeah.
cool possibilities. I
Yeah.
love the clock. I love the jewelry. Like and the bar stool. That'd be so cool. Like seeing that the fluid style on that on a bar stool. That'd be so cool.
Yeah, I think so too.
But what advice would you have for any aspiring artists out there who kind of want to get into art a little bit more?
Yeah, my best advice is to just not be discouraged. Like, I don't know, you're gonna run into people who don't really like what you're doing or who try to like steer you away from it sometimes. Um, but always just kind of go for it. And like also another like thing that I've noticed to be true is like if it scares you, like do it. That means that you should be doing it because it's something out of the ordinary. So
Oh,
yeah.
totally, perfectly said. You're like you're if you're not doing anything with it, like just go do it, go try it. Like why
Exactly.
not? What do you exactly? Perfectly said.
Thank you.
And now this is also a totally random question, but it is related to Parks and Recreation.
Yeah.
So I saw on your Etsy you do custom requests.
Yeah.
Uh, so let's say both Leslie Knope and Ron Swanson called you, and they were like, "Just do your thing. Don't even like." What would you make for them?
Whoa. Um, for Leslie, it would be something. It's a very good question.
Oh,
Um,
had
for
to
Leslie,
throw Parks and Rec in there.
yeah, it would be something like very feminine, like pinks and things like that, because she's very girly. I would try to see if I could find like a butterfly or something to paint on for her. And as for Ron, I almost feel like it's a trick because like he like I don't know.
Listen,
I feel like if I did it on a piece of wood, he would be like mad that I like messed up a piece of wood or something. That's a tough one. I don't know if I would be able to make one for him.
yeah, you just need to send him a piece of wood, and that's.
Yeah, just be like, I thought this was a great piece of wood. It reminded me of you.
Oh, great answers. Yeah, any person from Parks and Rec would be lucky to receive a Brit Parla painting.
Yeah. Thank you.
And jumping into a segment I'm gonna try to do on every episode, which is totally random too. So I did this with my last show as well. So my favorite bird in the entire world are blue jays. I love blue jays. They're my favorite. And I'm gonna ask every guest what advice you have, because I've never like photographed one, and I've always wanted to photograph one. Like I've seen them really high in the trees. I have never actually photographed one. What is
Yeah.
your advice for photographing a blue jay?
Photographing a blue jay. I mean, you said that you see them high up in the trees. And like, are they around your house like frequently? Like, is there a specific time of day where you like always see the blue jays?
It's like maybe twice or three, 2 or 3 times a year. They're so rare. I
Man,
mean, I'm sure there's a more common spot around
yeah.
here somewhere. Hmm.
I think like maybe practice like taking pictures like high up in like the trees on like a fast what's the word I'm looking for? When it takes the picture really fast on the camera, I can't think of
Oh
it.
yeah, I know what you're talking about. Like just like it goes really quick.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like an action shot or something. Like
Hmm.
maybe practice taking those and then just kind of be on your toes until a
Hey,
day comes.
that's perfectly sound honestly. Because I never like because I know my camera has that option on it, so I should totally
Yeah,
try to use that and just
just practice
aim
with
and.
it. And like practice taking pictures of like other birds too, so that you like know how to capture a bird in flight or whatever. I don't know.
Hey, that is honestly perfect advice because
Thank you.
because if I'm not prepared to photograph a blue jay, like I need to do the other birds first to kind of.
Exactly. Exactly.
Now, the last question of the day, we talked a little bit about your Etsy page, and can you just tell everyone watching the review where they can search on Etsy to find your page and kind of a little bit more about that.
Yeah, that's kind of a funny story. All I have right now is an Etsy page. Not all I have. It's cool. It's cool having an Etsy. But if you go on, you can type in Ethereal Loon is the name of the Etsy page. You might be able to just search my name too. But yeah, go. That's kind of funny because like you like birds or whatever.
Hey, it connects.
Yeah. So the way I came up with the name, it doesn't really make sense to go together, and like that's why I kind of like it. So ethereal is like otherworldly and like godly, which like I think all art is really.
Oh, totally.
And then like loon has two meanings. So one, it's a bird, and two, it's like a crazy person. I kind of like it for like the crazy like aspect of the word, like that meaning, because I think it's really funny to be like juxtaposed with the word like ethereal. Like ethereal is like otherworldly, a god, and then it's like a crazy person. I don't know. It's just a silly thing I came up with.
Hey, it's definitely original. Like it's definitely yeah.
Definitely.
So yeah, definitely look Brit up. She has the Etsy page, lots of just so much awesome art on that page.
Thanks.
And so that was actually all my questions. Brit, thank you so much for being on the show. This is awesome. Great seeing you again.
This was awesome, and it was really good to see you too. Thanks. It's really an honor. I'm really happy for you, and it seems like a really cool thing. I was telling Joe when we were texting like last week that I think this is the start of something like really big. I think he's onto something, and I could totally see him having his own like late night show someday.
Oh, you're too kind, Brit. You're too kind.
Seriously.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, but thank you, Joe. This was really cool.
Yeah, so thank you, Brit. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching, and have an awesome day.
Bye.